Yes guys, it's your boy Cam, CTB, Cam Talks Boxing, back with another video. Saul Canelo Alvarez, one of the biggest fighters in the world, for me still the face of boxing, is returning this weekend. But the question is, and you saw it in the thumbnail, is Canelo Alvarez finally slowing down? Let's discuss, let's talk about it. Yes guys, let's go straight into it. So Saul Canelo Alvarez is 58, 2 losses, 2 draws. So that's a great record. Look, 58 wins, I believe 39 by knockout. He's had a long career, he's had so many fights. Canelo Alvarez, obviously, he became pro at age 15. So he's been fighting for years. Look, it was about 10 years ago now we fought Mayweather. So look, he's been at the top for a while. I think he was unified at that age as well, at 154 I believe. So look, Canelo Alvarez is obviously facing Ryder, a top 10 super middleweight. I believe is top 5 in many of the rankings. He is 32 and 5, I believe. So Canelo Alvarez is now 32 years old. Ryder is 34, so look, it's going to be an interesting fight. I'll post my prediction in a couple of days, probably the day of the weigh-in, so the day before the fight. But at the moment, I just want to focus more on Canelo Alvarez. He hasn't fought since September. 2022 was, for his standards, a slightly underwhelming year, especially after coming off a big 2021. He was Fighter of the Year. Eddie Reynoso was Trainer of the Year. He became undisputed at super middleweight, and it was the question you could ask. It was at the peak of Canelo Alvarez. He's had some injuries. He had some injuries last year. Look, he fought Dimitri Bivol. He went up to 175 pounds. He didn't need to go up, but he took a risk. He dared to be great, and he got outclassed by Dimitri Bivol. He didn't make any excuses, and we've recently found out that he did have a hand injury, I believe, and that could have a lot of people think Dimitri Bivol is just a better fighter, and it's a bad stylistic matchup for Canelo. But Canelo wants that rematch in September, and he wants it at 175 pounds. So he's got a chip on his shoulder in 2023, and he wants to come back with a vengeance, which isn't great news for his opponent this week, Ryder. But look, is Canelo slowing down? Look, that's what I literally just mentioned. Look, was at the peak of Canelo Alvarez, pound for pound number 1, 2021, became undisputed. And the reason I say that is, okay, he lost against Bivol, but then against Triple G went up to 168. He was 40 years old. Canelo Alvarez is fresh. He's in his prime. And he failed to actually stop Triple G, which a lot of people thought he would in their respective stages of their careers. And Triple G actually came on stronger in the latter stages of that fight, whereas Canelo Alvarez actually slowed down, and he seemed quite tired, to be fair. So I don't think that was a lot of people were underwhelmed with Canelo's performance, and a lot of people are putting the question there, and that is Canelo slowing down? Is he now on the decline? Are all these fights, are these wars taking its toll on Canelo Alvarez's body? Yes, he's 32. Yes, he is in his prime in terms of age, but because he started so early and started fighting at a young age, could it be a case that he has an early retirement like at Andrew Ward? Look, for me, I think it's too early to say that. Look, he's one of the best fighters in the world. Look at who he fought as well. I think we're being quite harsh. Look, Triple G, okay, he was 39-40, but look, he's a world champion at 160. He's still a world champion. He's one of the greatest fighters of his era. He has a solid chin. No one's knocked him out, and he had the extra weight on him as well. So look, we're not talking about no bum, no journeyman. We're talking about Triple G, Gennady Golovkin. And then Dimitri Bivol, okay, a lot of people were picking Canelo to probably stop him, as Dimitri Bivol wasn't that popular or known. But look, Dimitri Bivol, we've seen how he's class. Look, we saw him pick apart Zodo Ramirez, in and out of range, beautiful jab, beautiful 1-2, beautiful defense. He hardly gets hit, and he's a world-class fighter. He's a world champion, and Canelo for those two fighters at the end of the day. So I think, look, out of those two fighters, and look, out of the last 3 or 4 opponents Canelo has fought, this is probably the most. I'm not going to take credit. I'm not going to discredit John Ryder like this. He's earned his shot. He's a world level fighter. You could argue that he could have been world champion already. A lot of people thought he got robbed, or it could have went his way against Callum Smith, but he didn't get the decision. So he's a world level fighter. He could have been world champion. So look, it's not an easy fight for Canelo. But in terms of, because Canelo fights such good fighters, this is probably one of his easier fights in the last 18 to 24 months. So look, a lot of people are expecting a great performance from Canelo, and I think in terms of seeing if Canelo slowed down, we'll be able to judge him after this fight. If he's still, maybe if it's a close fight, if he nicks the fight, if he doesn't fail to hurt John Ryder or stop him perhaps, or look convincing, maybe you could say, look, it's been 3 fights now, he's coming off a defeat, an underwhelming performance against Triple G, who was past it, and now John Ryder. Then you could say, yes, he is slowing down. But for me, let's see how he is. I think he's super motivated this year. I think he's fit, fully fit. He's recovered from his injuries. And look, he wants to beat John Ryder, claiming he just reminded everyone, look, he is the undisputed super middleweight champion. And then he wants to get revenge against Dimitri Bivol, which I believe he can. Look, Canelo, he's a wonderful fighter. Look, people before the first fight, were saying that Canelo was going to win, demolish him, stop him, and he was the pound for pound number 1. I think he can beat Dimitri Bivol. I think he needs a game plan. I think he needs to. That's a whole nother video in itself, but I think he has to make adjustments, and he has to be more active. He has to work on his gas tank, and he needs to be fully fit. He can't have no injuries. And if he can beat Dimitri Bivol and beat John Ryder, look, that's leading up to a big David Benavidez fight next May 2024, and look, by then, well, let's see. We're going quite ahead now, but guys, let me know what you think in the comments. Do you think Canelo's slowing down? Do you think he edges past John Ryder and then loses to Bivol again, and then maybe calls it a career, or do you just think it was a less than spectacular year for such a wonderful fighter who has such high standards? Guys, let me know what you think. Is Canelo slowing down? And I'll be back with another video. Talking numbers on the phone while I'm getting brains. Switch 4 lanes, I'm in my own lane. You can catch me riding.